Charity Dingle gathers the courage to attend her support group once again in next week's Emmerdale. This time she opens up truthfully about the devastating sexual assault she suffered at the hands of Dr. Todd. After feeling disconnected from the other members because her attacker was a woman, Charity has been overwhelmed with confusion and emotional pain. However, a compassionate conversation during the meeting could help her see things differently. Reflecting on Charity's first visit to the group, it is explained that she found it incredibly difficult to speak because her experience did not fit the situations shared by the others. She struggled to define what had happened to her, leaving her feeling isolated, confused, and burdened by emotions she had kept hidden. By the second meeting, though, she finds a little more courage to face her trauma. Earlier in the week, Charity is hit with unexpected news when her son Noah reveals that he plans to move to Düsseldorf. The announcement leaves her stunned, and she cannot conceal how heartbroken she feels about the prospect of him leaving. Seeing how deeply his decision has affected his mother, Noah begins to reconsider his plans. He ultimately decides to postpone his move to Germany so he can remain in the village and support Charity during her difficult time. Despite the painful memories of her previous visit, Charity chooses to return to the support group. This meeting unfolds very differently, offering her a far more welcoming and understanding environment. The group facilitator encourages Charity with patience and kindness, inviting her to speak only when she feels ready. Once Charity reveals that her attacker was a woman, the words begin to flow freely, allowing her to express emotions she has been suppressing for far too long. During the emotional discussion, Charity admits that she has been blaming herself for the horrific assault committed by Todd. As the conversation continues, the facilitator gently helps her understand that the guilt and shame she carries should never have been hers, but instead belongs solely to the person responsible for the attack. This important realization could become a major turning point in Charity's healing journey as she begins to rebuild her confidence and take meaningful steps toward moving forward. She also becomes determined to seek justice, whether that ultimately comes through the legal system or another path. 5 Emmerdale spoilers for next week. Charity suffers fresh heartbreak while the Dingles face an emotional farewell. Romance, family drama, and heartbreaking goodbyes dominate next week's Emmerdale. Kane struggles with a painful decision about his beloved dog Monty. Charity faces another emotional challenge as Noah reveals major life plans. Nicola begins to suspect Jimmy is hiding something. Claudette shocks Charles with an unexpected confession, and Gabby is devastated after uncovering Billy's betrayal. One Charity faces another painful blow after Noah's big announcement. Charity is left crushed when Noah reveals that he intends to move to Düsseldorf for a promising new job. Although he knows the conversation will be difficult, he is unprepared for just how devastated his mother becomes after hearing the news. Seeing the pain he has caused, Noah decides he cannot leave her behind in such an emotional state. He postpones his move to Germany and chooses to remain in the village to support Charity. Later, Charity returns to her support group and finally finds the confidence to speak honestly about her traumatic experience. She explains why she has always felt different from the other members and admits that overwhelming guilt and self-blame continue to haunt her. The group facilitator gently encourages Charity to recognize that the shame she carries does not belong to her. Instead, she is reminded that the responsibility lies entirely with the person who committed the assault. 2. Nicola believes Jimmy may be hiding another relationship. Wanting to bring excitement back into their marriage, Jimmy plans a surprise date after sensing Nicola's growing frustration with their routine. She is initially delighted by the effort, but her excitement quickly disappears when the evening fails to live up to her expectations. Things become even more suspicious when Jimmy arrives at the cafe carrying his golf clubs. As Nicola pushes them aside in irritation, a jewelry box accidentally falls onto the floor. Unable to believe such a thoughtful gift could be intended for her, she immediately assumes it belongs to another woman. Can Jimmy clear up the misunderstanding before Nicola jumps to the wrong conclusion? 3. Kane says an emotional goodbye to Monty. Kane hopes to discuss the possibility of Moira officially adopting Kyle, but when she is unexpectedly called away to visit an injured relative, he decides to have the important conversation alone. Kyle is shocked by Kane's suggestion and seeks advice from Kerry before making such a significant decision. Just as he returns prepared to give his answer, Sam interrupts with worrying news about Monty's deteriorating health. After examining the much-loved dog, Rona fears that Monty's tumor has become significantly worse and gently prepares the family for the difficult reality ahead. The devastating news deeply affects Kane, who cannot help comparing Monty's struggle with his own recent health battle. Later, Kane discovers Monty quietly lying beside Zach's grave and realizes the time has finally come to let his faithful companion go. He breaks the heartbreaking news to the boys before taking Monty to the veterinary clinic for one final farewell. Following the emotional goodbye, Isaac suggests that Monty deserves a proper Dingle funeral. Wanting to honor his loyal friend, Kane organizes a touching farewell ceremony where his heartfelt tribute brings the entire family together to celebrate Monty's life while mourning their loss. 4. Claudette leaves Charles stunned with a shocking confession. Following Steve's mysterious disappearance, Kev searches desperately for answers. However, it is Claudette who delivers the biggest surprise when she shares a startling confession with Charles. Her revelation leaves him completely speechless and raises even more questions about the truth behind Steve's sudden exit. 5. Gabby discovers Billy's betrayal. Gabby's relationship is thrown into turmoil after she learns that Billy shared a kiss with his former wife, Dawn. The painful discovery leaves her questioning everything she believed about their relationship, forcing her to decide what to do next. One question remains: will Gabby reveal Billy's betrayal to Joe Tate? Charity receives a life-changing reality check over Dr. Todd in Emmerdale. Charity Dingle experiences another emotional week in Emmerdale, as she is confronted with heartbreaking family news while continuing to recover from the trauma of her sexual assault. Not long ago, Charity suddenly vanished from the village, leaving Mackenzie and Vanessa deeply worried about where she had gone. Unknown to them, she had attended a support group in the hope of taking another step toward healing after the attack by Dr. Caitlin Todd. After returning home, Charity admitted to Vanessa that she struggled to relate to the other women at the meeting because she was the only survivor whose attacker was female. Looking back on Charity's first support group experience, it was explained that she found it incredibly difficult to speak because her situation felt very different from the experiences shared by the others. After discovering that what happened to her was legally classified as assault by penetration rather than rape, Charity became overwhelmed with feelings of isolation, confusion, and loneliness. Next week brings another painful blow when Charity learns that Noah intends to move to Düsseldorf for a new chapter in his life. The news leaves her devastated, and seeing how deeply it affects his mother, Noah decides to postpone his plans and remain in the village to support her. Charity gathers the courage to attend the support group once again, determined to keep moving forward. During the meeting, she finally opens up about why her experience feels so different from those of the other members, and speaks honestly about the overwhelming guilt and self-blame she has been carrying. Emmerdale is broadcast on ITV1 every weekday at 8 p.m, with new episodes also available to stream from 7 a.m. on ITVX.